Welcome to another episode of McRae Center Broadcasting. I'm your host, Darius Melbine, and today we're going to talk about some very phenomenal topics such as Louise McRae Athletics, Hurricane Matthew, and also police brutality. Today we're going to definitely get some opinions about the police brutality. I want to talk about that because that's a very hot topic right now, so I think that'd be a good little, topic and conversation just to have. Also, we just want to thank you for just supporting us because we know we had some technical difficulties, so we very much thank you for the time that you've supported us and watching our last episode. And we want you to get engaged as well, so we would love for you just to comment below and talk about what you want to talk about and want us to talk about as well. So we're going to start off with women's soccer at Louise McRae Athletics. Right now, the women's soccer team, they're 4-10, 4-4 in conference. They have 12 goals for 14 games. Alex Feely was the Week 6 Player of the Week, and right now they are tied for 5th. October 13, they lost to LR 1-0. After a pair of 1-0 victories, the Louise McRae women's soccer team was on the wrong side of the ledger of a 1-0 decision Wednesday evening at Tate Field as Lenore Ryan snapped the LMC's 2-match winning streak. The Bears controlled the pace of play for the majority of the game, outshooting the Bobcats 24-3. Goalkeeper Alex Feely did her best to keep her team in the game as she made 9 saves and 10 attempts for LMC. The only shot to get past Feely in the game was from Jessica Ferronti in the 18th minute of play. Also, on October 15th, the women's soccer team lost to Belmont Abbey. And for the 4th straight game, the Louise McRae College women's soccer team was involved in a 1-0 decision. But much like its last game against Lenore Ryan, it came out on the losing end against Belmont Abbey Saturday 1-0. Goalkeeper Alex Feely stopped 13 of the 14 shots she faced. The long goal by the Crusaders was scored on a penalty kick of Sierra Skyers in the 72nd minute of action. The Bobcats were outshot Saturday 22-3, did not attempt a corner kick in the loss. LMC will return to action next Saturday on the road at Barton. The game is scheduled for a 2 p.m. first kick. Langell has 3 goals right now for the season. Barcel, Katie Jo Ward has 2 goals each. And Anki, Esposito, and Massey has 1 goal each. And we're going to kick it up a notch, with the men's soccer. So right now, men's soccer, their record is 3-10, 3-4 in conference. They have 20 goals in 13 games, and right now tied for 6th. They October 13th, they lost to Catawba, and actually they lost 3-2. And Dealey scored and Gray scored as well. So Thomas Dealey and Taylor Gray both scored goals, but it wasn't enough as the Catawba College Indians got past the Louise McRae College men's soccer team 3-2 Wednesday evening at Tate Field. The loss moves LMC's record to 3-9-0 this season. The Indians jumped on the Bobcats with a goal just 4 minutes into the game as Tim Frederick Lange connected with a header to put his team up 1-0. Catawba wasn't done scoring as it tacked on another a goal in the 39th minutes from Jack Reagan. Dealey would get the Bobcats on the board with his team-leading 7th goal of the season in the 42nd minute to get the deficit to 2-1 heading into halftime. In the second half, the Indians would get their lead back to a pair thanks to another header from Philip Hollenhorst. Hollenhorst's header for a goal was set up via a free kick by Proch. Gray got the Bobcats within 1 score again with about 3 minutes left in regulation. The goal was Gray's first collegiate goal as well, so that's congrats to him. And following the goal by Gray, the Bobcats continued to threaten in the final 3 minutes, but came up empty as the Indians finished off the victory 3-2. And also, October 15th, the men's soccer team lost to Belmont Abbey 5-0. Belmont Abbey scored twice within the first 6 minutes of play and went on to defeat the Louise McRae College men's soccer team by a final score of 5-0 Saturday afternoon. The loss moves Louise McRae's record to 3-10-0 overall and 3-4-0 in league play. Mark Trompeter and Clay Demick both scored 2 goals each for the Crusaders, while Nando Morales scored the final goal for Belmont Abbey College. The Crusaders totaled 21 shots compared to 5 for the Bobcats, and they also attempted 9 more corner kicks, 14-5. LMC will look to snap the 3-match losing skid next Saturday when it hits the road to take on Barton. Kickoff is set for 4 p.m. goals this season. D-Lee has 7, Vassar has 6, Jesperson has 3, and Fry, Gray, Morgan, Watt all have 1 goal each. And we're going to switch sports right now to women's volleyball. Right now, their record is 7-12, 3-6 in conference. They're tied for 8th. And Madison Martin actually got Week 6 Player of the Week. October 15th, the volleyball team had a doubleheader on October 15th. The first game, they lost to Barton 3-0. The Bobcats hung around in the first 2 sets, but dropped both sets by scores of 25-23, and 25-22. Barton ran away with the third set, however, winning it by a score of 25-13. Lexi Zangari and Logan Slusher paced LMC with 6 kills each. Zangari was the most efficient hitter for the Bobcats, hitting .417 on 12 attempts with just 1 attack error. Also, the second game, since it was a doubleheader, Lee's McRae College actually beat Winston-Salem State University 3-0. Lee's McRae used a staunch defensive effort to knock off Winston-Salem State 3-0, 25-19 first match, 25-14 second match, and 25-10 the third match. The Bobcats held the Rams to a negative .025 hitting percentage for the match. In addition, the Bobcats were dynamite from the serve, totaling 11 aces in the contest. Jonalise Kotek led these efforts with 4 aces. Next up, the Bobcats will be back in action against the same Winston-Salem State squad it faced Saturday on Tuesday in Winston-Salem. First serve is set for 7 p.m. So that was a little bit of Lee's McRae athletics. Right now, I mean, they have a few more games coming up. It's almost towards the end of the season, so let's wish them luck. And we're going to switch gears right now to Hurricane Matthew and police brutality. So, as y'all know, Hurricane Matthew was a very devastating hurricane. It caused a lot of turmoil, a lot of issues in Florida and people in general in the East Coast. So, here's a little bit of a recap from Hurricane Matthew. Matthew formed from a tropical wave that pushed off the African coast in late September. That tropical wave was invested into a nice 7L just southwest of the Cape Verde Islands on September 25th. It took a few days for the system to organize as it moved westward in the Atlantic. About 3 days later, however, the system gained sufficient organization to be named Tropical Storm Matthew near the Windward Islands. Once Matthew reached the eastern Caribbean, it became a hurricane and rapidly intensified. Its peak intensified was late September 30th into early October 1st when it reached Category 5 strength with 160 miles per hour winds. Matthew then made landfall in Haiti and eastern Cuba on October 4th as a Category 4. From there, Matthew hammered the Bahamas October 5, 6 as a Category 3 and 4. And the southeastern United States was then hit hard by Hurricane Matthew as it moved very close to the coast of Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina. Matthew made one official U.S. landfall on the October 8th southeast of Mecklenville, South Carolina as Category 1 hurricane with 75 miles per hour. So you can tell that was a very, very crucial hurricane. And also there was some people that was devastated by this, such as across 5 states, nearly 7,000 people woke up Monday morning in 156 Red Cross and community emergency shelters, including 72 shelters in North Carolina with more than 1,800 people, 41 shelters in South Carolina with more than 1,700 people, and 19 shelters in Georgia with more than 2,800 people, and 21 shelters in Florida with more than 400 people, and 3 shelters in Virginia with 60 people. So you can see that a lot of people were devastated with this, and they had a lot of grief and a lot of problems to overcome after this. So right now we're going to switch to police brutality, and I know that's a very tough topic right now. There's a lot of things going on with that. There's a lot of racial tension. But I just want to say, I can understand how you can go into a situation or a certain area where you can feel, threatened. Maybe the hood, a lot of people say the hood, you can feel threatened. But that's no reason to shoot somebody because you're scared. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of people who don't cooperate. And I know a lot of people don't want to listen to the cops. They already have tension. They just want to start stuff. But there's got to be some point where people have to come to a common, agreement so there's no hostility, because there's so many times where I've seen somebody just walking. I mean, there's a video I saw the other day. I saw somebody walking, and just because of how he looked, the cop actually came and literally tried to start something, and they called like 10 other cop cars off of that little situation. It was like one person. I don't understand that. And don't get me wrong, I know not every police is bad. I know there's some good police out there. I know there's only a handful that is actually, doing this. But for the people or the cops that's doing this, we got to figure out a solution to this, because this is not fair to somebody's life. Somebody's life should not be taken away because a cop either has a stereotype or because he's threatened. Because, I mean, he went into the business knowing that it was going to be scary. I mean, being a police officer is very tough. So if you know that from the get-go, you can't get afraid and naturally attack somebody and try to shoot them. Because, one of the situations I always bring up, what if somebody was in the military and they was in the Army and the Marines or whatnot, and they got scared and yelled or shot at somebody? They could either kill themselves, they can kill another teammate, or they can kill the whole team by giving their position away or just doing something that was not necessary because they were scared. So you got to really be considerate about that. And I'm not going to really talk about race too much, because I know a lot of people try to say Black Lives Matter and these white cops are trying to kill the black people. But I've seen certain cases where there's actually a black cop that actually shot at a black person. So race has nothing to do with it. It's just the police force as a whole. And then, like I said, not everybody is doing this. Not everybody's bad. There are some good cops out there. But for the ones that are very startled, we got to figure out a way to either train them or change their mindset so they don't do this to other African Americans, because there's so many African Americans that have been taken away, and I feel bad for them and their families. And I don't want to bring race into it, but African Americans are the highest rate of police brutality. 194 Black Americans have been killed by police so far this year. So that just tells you that African Americans are sort of being targeted, or the stereotype is really high in police officers' head. So we really got to do something to change that. But until then, let's just keep praying, because we really need to come together as a nation, because if we don't, this is going to be a rough 4 years. And I know nobody wants to go through a rough 4 years. I know everybody wants to come together, enjoy each other's company, excel as a nation and whatnot. So please, just prayers for the situations that we can't handle ourselves, and that's bigger than us as a whole. But thank you for listening today. Thank you for just listening to what I had to say. Like I said, if you have anything you want to talk about, please comment below, and stay tuned for next time. Thank you. Stay blessed.